Welcome back to Walking Atlanta. I am your host, November. It's been quite some time, but we glad to have you guys back with us for the second half of the year. And we have our first guest with us, Key Banks, or just Key Banks. Key Banks. All right, Key Banks. How you doing today?
I'm all right. Feeling good, feeling blessed. How are y'all?
No, we doing pretty good. We're glad to be back.
Yes.
You just came from shooting.
Yes.
Right? She's an actor, model.
Yes. Writer.
And writer as well.
Yep,
actor, model, writer. Okay.
Jack of all trades.
Was this what you're working on now? That's something you wrote yourself, or is it something you're participating in?
So just something that I'm participating in. I was shooting some content with another content creator that lives in Decatur. Yesterday I went to an acting class with Raquel Palmer from All the Queen's Men.
Okay.
She plays Blue. She dropped some gems, her and her husband. And yeah, I just be all over the place. I be all over the place, and I'm here.
Staying active.
Yeah.
So are you originally from Atlanta, or?
I am from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and if anybody know, that is the gutter of the gutter. I grew up in the heart of the hood, but I moved to the South about 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's your experience been?
I love it. Where I'm at now is like total opposite of where I grew up. So I'm used to like the fast-paced hustle, obviously violence, but where I'm at, it's kind of slow. It's like a retirement state,
Oh, out here?
No, I don't live in Atlanta. South Carolina.
Oh, okay. So, coming from where you came from, I'm sure it impacted your life greatly. What things did you carry from that place that you brought here that helped you out?
Definitely the hustle. That's something that I can't turn off. I wish I could because I'm always tired, but up there it's like just gotta get it. Like you gotta keep up with not even everybody else, but the world is just moving so fast, and everything in the inner city is always fast. So just the hustle. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I'm from Detroit. I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate a lot. Yeah. The hustle. Sometimes you got to go back to kind of get that back on you, so you can get back out here and remember what you came out here for.
Yep, I agree.
So where are you at right now? Are you pushing more in the actor or the writer side or the model side?
So I started out modeling. I tell anybody this, it's not a secret. I don't really like modeling. When I moved down here, I had a lot of people asking me if I modeled, and I'm like, no. And there was this one guy, he's like, I'll pay you. And so I told him, he needed help with the campaign. So I helped him out with that, and that kind of opened the door to meeting other filmmakers and stuff. Now, my first gig was playing an extra for Beauty and Black, Tyler Perry's Beauty and Black season 2.
I read that in
the
interview. Okay.
So that was, it was just kind of like a gateway, like being on set for the first time. I think I was more so excited, like, oh, Tyler Perry, for the name. But when I got there, like, I don't know, something in me just kind of woke up. Like, it felt like I belonged. I wasn't nervous. I felt like at home. I fell in love with like hearing him talk on set, hearing the lingo, just watching them move, what goes on behind the cameras. And I'm like, damn, like, it was quite the experience. So when I went back home, that hustle, I started picking it back up, applying for jobs. And I'm thinking like it was going to be a consistent thing. I'm going to quit my job. It wasn't. I didn't have any work for about 6 months. And I was asking God, like, what's going on? Why would you bring me here? And I have this great feeling. I feel like I belong. And, now it's nothing. And I heard him one day telling me to pick my pen back up. I've always been a writer since I was younger. But I picked my pen back up. I kept seeing this scene in my head that I couldn't get out. And I just started writing screenplays from there.
Yeah, so I see you have one I was looking at earlier. So the one I was actually looking at two different ones. One was the one based in the 50s.
Yeah, The Inheritance.
Yeah. So that one was cool. I didn't get to watch it though. I was watching the ones that you had on YouTube. I don't know if you have that one on YouTube as well, but I saw the one that's from The Office.
Okay,
The Office one. That was funny. Yeah, I like that a lot. Actually.
Thank you. Yeah, those were kind of so one of the ones that I couldn't get out of my head was The Inheritance, the one that was shot in the 50s, shot in black and white. I came up with that. I kept seeing these two older people in my head, and I know it sounds crazy, but that's, as a creative, that's how it happens. And I kept seeing, like, Lorraine, and I kind of was like, okay, what are we doing with this? And I was talking to my grandmother about that, and I was asking her, like, you know, you like soap operas? And she's like, yeah, I watch this, I watch that. And she's naming all of these shows. And I said, are there any soap operas that's just black people? And she was talking about, you know, some Tyler Perry shows. And I said, no, from your era. And she's like, oh, baby, you got to understand, back then in the 1950s, like, it was still a lot of racism and stuff like that. You know, the white people like Marilyn Monroe and all of them was front line. And so that was just kind of like, well, I want to be one of the first. Even if it's super low budget, I want to be one of the first that has a black soap opera from that era. And that's kind of how that was born. I took my friend Jonah X. He was my photographer, and I'm
that's
like,
the guy in that, is he the
no, that was my
lead?
co-star. That's the one that filmed it. Jonah is the one that filmed it.
Okay.
He was my photographer at the point, and I'm like, hey, what's up? You ever do film? And he's like, no. I'm like, well, now's the time to start. And so I kind of pushed him into that. Now he's doing film. We do a lot of stuff together, but that's where that originated from. And office hours is just, I came up with that one day because I was on the phone complaining about my job. I have a work from home job, so it's super sweet. I don't have to talk to anybody, but I'm always doing things. And so, you know, sometimes we don't know how good we got it, and that's where the idea came from. Let me create a world where other people can relate to being at work and doing everything but their job, but making it funny. So that's where that came from.
It is very relatable.
Yeah.
It's very relatable.
Yeah.
Just to kind of jump back, did your grandmother get to see the one that you made from the 50s?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's my biggest supporter right there. She loved it. Yeah. She loved it. Yeah, she watches it all the time. I took it off of YouTube because it's now distributed. It's on Roku
on Dust
TV.
House? Yeah, that's what you put it, right?
Yep,
okay.
Dust House Network. That's available on Roku TV and Amazon.
I never even heard of that thing. I was like, oh, we got another platform to get on.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, and they're great people to work with also. So
that's dope. I think that's the best thing right now. Black people or black creators creating our own channels, our own platforms, because we can platform these films just like Tubi, man. Tubi took off. And a lot of people from my city went crazy on Tubi. It's a lot of Detroit movies on Tubi.
Yeah, I love Tubi.
Yeah, so
I call it the Black Lifetime.
Oh yeah, that's nice. That's what they probably need to use that. You need to coin that. Call them. But I was gonna also just, you know, jumping back, what your grandmother said about, you know, how it was for actors back then. It was kind of crazy because you go back and you watch movies and it's like white people playing cowboys and the Indians. Yep. And then when you like look at the history, they weren't either one of those. Exactly. Cowboys were actually black people. They were black young men, right? Because they were meant to rustle the cows and bring them back. The white guys, they weren't going to do it. It was like, you need to keep these cows in. So they call them cowboys. That's why, you know, they always call them boys. So, and then, but, you know, they became, instead of just rustling cows, they would kind of like, I guess, go into, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think they would like go out and start to hunt down the bad guys as well too. That was kind of like a thing they kind of, you know, branched off into doing. And they were the fast slingers, fast shooters. Right. And, you know, the Indians were not white people. It's, you know, it's just crazy. The roles that they played back in the day, like playing Jesus and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Jesus wasn't even white, so.
So I set up and watched with my grandmother the story of Moses. And it's just like, nobody in this film is black. So it's like, what is going on? Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, film is definitely changing. And I think that as we progress as creatives, we kind of find new lanes. Yeah. And what I've been hearing from a lot of creatives, actors, is that now is the time to create your own lane by creating your own product. Like not auditioning, but creating your opportunity. Yes. Do you feel like you have stumbled upon the particular writing that is your golden opportunity, or?
So I don't like to think like that. Somebody else asked me that, like, how do you know when you write this is going to be the one? Well, I don't. I just write from, first of all, everything that I write is always rooted in some sort of truth. So it's always something in there that has happened to me in my life, or has something to do with where I'm going, things like that. So I kind of write, yes, it's entertainment, but it's also some sort of deep-rooted story that I want to share with the world. So I don't write from a perspective like, okay, yeah, let me make sure this is entertaining. Let me make sure like this, that splat, like this gonna blow up. I don't want to put that much pressure on myself. Let me be who I am, continue to, you know, write how I write, and those that fool with it, they fool with it. If it blow up, great. But if not, I'm okay with that too. I
Organic.
think,
You
yeah,
want it to be
very
organic.
organic,
Yeah.
and I want to stay true to who I am also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did though. When I first started after the inheritance, and people were telling me, oh, what they wanted to see in season 2, I put so much pressure on myself trying to, okay, well, I gotta make season 2 about this, and I'm like, that don't even make no sense. Let me make it. Whatever comes up here, let's just roll with that. And so that's how I look at it. I think everybody should do it. Like, there's no right way to be creative.
So, as of right now, no more modeling, right?
As of right now, no. Well, I'll be hosting a fashion show in October for one of my friends. It's called Balenciaga, and then I will be also gracing the runway in September for Victoria's Place. It's a good cause for autistic. I think her daughter's autistic.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so helping out with that, but I just want to dive into film. Like, I feel like this is my season to really be where I want to be, really.
Are you going to submit any of these to any festivals?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which one, if you don't mind? If
Whew,
we can get like a sneak
I
peek
have
into
one
your ideas.
coming up. I believe it's in March. My mentor, Philip Page, he's coming up with his own. He lives in Greensboro, North Carolina. And so he kind of gave us first dibs on that. So I've been, working behind the scenes like, y'all, we got to get a feature done. We got to get a short film done. But that's to start. I'm always
So are you helping writing with that, or are you acting in that, or
both.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
Yep, assist directing, all of that. Yeah.
Okay, that's big. Okay.
I do a lot.
I did see you behind the camera. You do camera work as well?
I do not. I don't want no parts of that. I
All
just
right.
know if I write it, I know what I want it to look like visually.
Yeah.
So I just kind of check in with my director, like, let me see that real quick before we move on. And then I'll make necessary adjustments as needed. But that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, so not earlier this year, but the BET Awards, Tiana Taylor received the Icon Award. They show clips of her writing, directing, making music, directing her own music videos, just all these different facets of creating the art she was doing. And it seems like you kind of like on the same path. How do you see yourself filling those shoes moving forward of, being an all-around creative that is in control of all these different parts of creating the art?
How do I see myself?
Yeah, do you think you'll be able to handle
Oh yeah.
moving,
I'm
'Cause I know
tough.
as a creative, you want things how you want it. You want it
Yeah.
to come out how you want it. So are you type that kind of burns out, or do you feel like you keep a good balance?
I keep a good balance. Balance is important because I am not a robot. I just had to tell myself that earlier because I was back and forth for the past couple months. But yeah, I definitely take time to just kind of relax and decompress. For me, it's needed because if I'm not resting, like, I can't be as creative as I want to be because my brain is just that tired. But yeah, I mean, as long as I have that balance, I don't see myself stopping no time soon.
Yeah, because me personally, I just started like writing how I want to create my own music videos. Because I used to just kind of like, I don't know, just like you just rapping in the camera, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But now that I'm making more like R&B songs and Afrobeat music, it's just like I want like I have a movie in my
A
head,
story.
So
a story
yeah,
you want to tell.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's important.
Yeah.
It's important for creators right now to dive into what you just said, the story.
Yeah.
How dynamic, how creative, how impactful
Right.
is the story we're creating, and whose lives is it touching?
Absolutely. Yeah. Very important.
Yeah. So for me, I'm doing my thing, but I see people like you who have decided to jump into writing and actually producing.
Yeah.
As somebody who's kind of like ahead of me, that's something I kind of want to get into. What steps did you take to start writing your first film and to actually completing the writing of it?
Honestly, I treated it like homework. So again, with the inheritance, it was like I see these two people in my head, and I tried to sit on it, but it was like such a loud calling. It's like, okay, if I don't get this out of my head, I'm gonna go crazy. But I kind of just built from it. Like every day when I got off of work, and I'm making sure my kids is cool, I would take time, maybe like an hour to 3, just building that world. Okay, who are these two people? Who do you want Lorraine to be? Who do you want Stanley to be? Okay, they're in the 1950s. What's going on? So I covered the who, what, where, when, the whys, and just kind of built the story from there. And again, I treated it like homework because life can get busy. Life be life and life can get crazy. But I wanted to make sure I was committed and dedicated to not only just building that story, but turn it into something tangible, something that people can watch, and a story, from script to screen. And I did. It took, I started that in February. We didn't shoot till September. So it took a couple months. Yeah. But we made it.
Nice. Because like you said, life be happening and, or life be life, should I say. But it's just a lot of creators right now that are stuck in like working mode.
Yeah.
And they trying to figure out, how do I bridge this gap?
Yeah.
How do I get this one thing done that I know I'm really good at?
Right.
From script to screen, like you said. Yeah.
And I will say it takes a team. I'm one of those people, and this is probably comes from just being up north, but I grew up in a city where it's crabs in a barrel. Don't nobody want to help nobody. Don't nobody want to see nobody win. Don't nobody want to see them there first, if they ain't have nothing to do with it. So when I came down and I decided I wanted to start filming, I'm like on YouTube, what do I need? Ooh, that's expensive. Okay, what do I need? How can I? And I was just like, you know what? I can't do this myself. Like, there's no way I can do this myself. And so, although small, I started building a team. And from there, like, we growing. We are definitely growing. But just, getting together with somebody else that not only believes in the vision, but they can see it as well. And just wants to be as equally creative and help you, get that story out. They believe in it. They love it just as much as you and just enjoy being there. So we did that. And like I said, we ain't stopping no time soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when it comes to building this team, how are you selecting people? Or are you just bumping into people that you worked with in the past? Or is it like you reaching out like, I see you do this well. Can we work together?
I started out reaching out to people because, I'm not from the South. So I started out seeing people, doing research on Instagram, doing research like on Facebook, even Google. And I started reaching out to people. And I'm like, y'all know how people can be. People talk a lot. So it's like, yeah, I can do this, that, and the third. And then you don't hear from them for another 3-4 months.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I kind of started with somebody I know he was going to, do it. And that was my photographer, Jonah. And so we started there. And from there, I kind of started basically getting out of my shell. I haven't always been a people person, but I had to kind of force myself out of that. I started going to networking events. I started attending fashion shows. Even when I was in fashion shows, just talking to people about what it is that I like. And they're like, hey, I did a movie or two. Oh, did you? And so they would connect me into somebody that, I needed to know, and just kind of started building from there. Yeah.
So linking up with people of like mind, but also being vocal about what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Often. So you kind of, touch those ears.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's nice. We're in a space right now where we're like building our team, building our atmosphere, our ecosphere of people that's like-minded.
Yeah.
So we can get some projects done as well. But I like what you've done because you don't live here. Mm-hmm. You visit here and you work here often, but you're in South Carolina right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So that's a lot of commuting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how often do you go back to PA?
So I haven't been to PA since I moved back. I'm planning on just taking some family time at the beginning of the year just to kind of reset because this year has been, although grateful, it's been a lot. Yeah. So I'm planning on just taking some family time, maybe in like March or April, and just resetting and going back to PA. But right back to it when I get back.
Yeah, you got to get it on you and get back to it.
Yeah.
I feel it. It. So another thing I wanted to jump back to, you said you had a mentor. Mm-hmm. How did you meet your mentor, and how did this person become your mentor?
I was talking to somebody who was talking to somebody else, and they're like, I know somebody. That was in the very beginning of my filmmaking experience. I had written a script. It was a series called Amor Charamenti, and still not published. I still didn't get a chance to film that because that's my baby, so that's going to take some time. But I was talking to somebody. I was talking to my best friend. He still lives in Pennsylvania. And he's like, well, I need to put you in contact with my uncle. He's a music producer who lives in Nevada. So I'm talking to him, and I'm just like, he's like, I know somebody in Atlanta that does movies. They work for Marvel. And so he's like, hey, he's like, we're talking. And he's like, how can I help? And he connected me with Philip. And
Nice.
so, yeah.
Okay. So
Just-
I was going to ask, what qualifies this person to be your mentor?
So he is actually, I'm not sure if he still is a teacher, but he was a professor at, don't get me to get the line, some university in North Carolina. And I'm not sure if he's still doing that. I know he's running for mayor right now, but yeah, he's been doing that for years. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's been doing that for years, and he's very, very helpful. Very helpful.
Nice. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They say you be like 2 people away from who you need to be talking to.
Yeah.
2 people away from accomplishing everything you need to accomplish in life.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So what's on the horizon for you?
Oof, that's such a broad question. More films. I'm definitely working on getting some features out there. Continuing to connect with other creatives. I've actually been recently asked to write a couple screenplays for people that's in my city. So that's really exciting for me because it's like, y'all see me. Like, y'all like my stuff. Even if they didn't, that's okay. But I like the fact that I'm getting recognized for basically like my calling. So yeah, I'll be writing some screenplays. I have a whole lot of acting that I'll be doing now through March. And just continue filmmaking.
We in what?
Right.
August? You said through March? Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's a decent schedule.
Yeah. I have a film also that'll be coming out this month called Finding Love for Key. I was a co-writer on that as well. And that's a rom-com that I wrote alongside of 2 other talented individuals. So that'll be dropping.
And where is that
this month.
coming out on?
So I got to talk to him about that.
Okay.
Because I wanted to get distributed. So not sure yet, but it's going to be on somebody's TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have it on some platform.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So you got that one coming out, and you're writing. How do you feel? Do you feel accomplished? Do you feel like you are at the point to where you wanted to be a few years ago, 5 years ago? So
that's very tricky how that works. So when I look back, yes. But because I have such a hustler mindset, I keep raising the bar. So it's like, yeah, we accomplished this much, but next year we need to do this. Okay, next year I accomplished that much, but let me keep raising the bar. So sometimes I do have to step back and just like, you doing it.
That was my next question. Sometimes you have to realize how far you come.
Yeah.
Because I know the same mentality. I come from Detroit. It'd be like, you be so far from where you've been. Right. And it's like you don't take the time to recognize.
Yeah, and that's important.
I'm in a whole different world now than what I used to be in.
Yeah.
Do you do that, or is that something you probably should?
I had to do it recently because it was kind of like driving me crazy. Again, I keep raising the bar. I feel like I'm not doing enough. It's not even that I compare. It's just I see this big picture of where I want to be, and I know it's going to take some time, but I'm not taking the time to recognize, okay, I just went up another rung on the ladder. Yeah. Appreciate that. So I do, make sure I take steps back and just like, okay, well, what was you doing in Pennsylvania? You weren't even doing none of this. You was working. You didn't have an identity outside of being a mom. So, you've changed your whole world. Yeah, seriously. So how was the transition moving from Pennsylvania out here to the South and starting over? It was heavy. Honestly, I had to leave. I don't want to say had to. I wasn't forced, but it was the best decision at that time to leave. I didn't know where I was going. The South, I just knew I had to go. I didn't really have like a place in mind. I just knew that I wanted to get out of there and just create a better world for me and my kids. How do I say this? What was wrong about where you were? So, for those that don't know, I am a domestic violence survivor of 9 years. My child's father, we were together since high school, and then, things just kind of went left. I, was assaulted for 9 years, and so I just decided no more. And I don't know if you noticed the butterfly on my chest, but that's what that's for, survivor. But new beginnings, right? New beginnings, right? Yeah, rebirth. Yes. And so I made the decision, like, you know what? We weren't together. He won't leave me alone in Pennsylvania, so I'm just gonna remove myself. And so how did you do that though? I took a leap of faith, like on some eeny, meeny, miny, mo stuff. Seriously, I had a friend that was in the Carolinas. I'm like, yo, you still down there? Yeah, you like it? Yeah. All right, well, I'm coming. And literally, I kept telling everybody, it's funny, I had this conversation earlier, but I kept telling everybody, I'm moving by August 31st. I'm moving by August 31st. Didn't have not $1 saved up. And so, I'm working and I'm like working overtime, trying to get extra money, and it just wasn't enough. Like, I barely had anything to cover a security deposit for a freaking studio. Like, in the heart of the hood. And so I'm just praying to God, like, yo, like, I need a way out of this. And long story short, that's a long story, so I'm just going to keep it brief, but I came across like about $4,600 fell into my lap, like from something that I apparently applied for in the past, fell into my lap. And
okay.
I'm like, God, this is you, I hear you. And literally, like, August 30th, packed up the U-Haul. I found an apartment like a week after they cut the check, and I left. Yep.
So you were kind of escaping the situation.
Yeah, escaping. Yeah.
Wow. How does this affect you now?
Whew.
You still have like memories, flashbacks?
Of course. Yeah, I still struggle with that. Shit. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's heavy.
Take your time.
Whew. Damn, I told myself I wasn't going to do this. It doesn't affect me in a negative sense. Shit.
Pause. Get some tissue.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I have this conversation all the time.
Okay.
And, it's still a sensitive subject, but I'm open about it. So, yeah.
Okay.
Where was we at? How do I feel?
How does it affect you now? Do you still have moments?
I still have, obviously I'm still healing from that. That's somebody I was with for almost a decade. So, I'm still healing from that. But it doesn't affect me in a negative sense. If anything, it drives me. I often say that I kind of think that God treated me, it's going to sound weird, but kind of like a sacrificial lamb. Like, I had to go through some stuff to grow through some stuff so I could be a teacher to others, women. And it's crazy because I dropped a clip on TikTok last December. It was the 2nd, because that's my Survivorversary. And so many women, it was crazy, inboxing me and just like, even some asking for advice, like, but just inboxing me, telling me that they was proud because they're struggling with that. And so I felt like, not in the sense that I had to go through it, but I had to go through it so I could be this person that other people not even look up to can feel like, wow, she did it, and I can actually talk to her about it. Let me take the steps that she took to get out of this situation, because it's so common. It's so common, and it's so unfortunate how common it is. It's not normal. It's being normalized. And so I'm often very loud and proud about that, because I want to, blow the lid off it. Yo, this ain't normal. It's not. You shouldn't be treated like that. And for men too, like, men be getting beat up too. It's not normal. So for anybody that's going through that,
I don't think I've ever seen that, but
I have.
Yeah.
I have. And it's just, all of it's unfortunate. So, it doesn't affect me in a negative sense. If anything, like I said, I feel like I had to go through that because there was some sort of light on the other side of the tunnel, and I'm the light to other people. So
I do feel like throughout life we go through different things. Definitely coming from these big cities, a lot of the struggles that we go through are very dark.
Yeah.
We all got these dark paths that push us forward to become and to create something better. And I do think that going through these things is a part of your story, because you're to be used as a tool, as a guideway for other people.
Exactly.
To be able to get through their storm.
Right.
Because a lot of times I have friends, and they be like, I don't know why I'm going through this, and I had to tell them, like, bro, sometimes you got to get through the storm to teach somebody else how to walk through
It'll
theirs.
make sense later. Because I didn't have nobody. Like, if anything, people encouraged me to stay in that. As your kid's dad, build a family and stay for the kids. You grew up in a household where you didn't have neither. Like, my mom passed away when I was younger. Daddy wasn't there. And so it was encouraged to stay in that situation. Like, stay there for the kids, or stay there because it's something that you never experienced before. And I'm like, yo, I know this is not love. Like, this can't be it.
You don't feel right.
And so You know, the last time that I decided it was the last time, I made sure that it was the last time. Because I also have a daughter. So for her to be looking at her mother being treated this way. So let me show you that mommy can get out of this and it gets greater later. So
Yeah, I think that's so key
yeah.
to show the kids that there is change that
Yeah,
can happen.
absolutely.
Like, you're not stuck. You can change things. That's the biggest thing, because I've had so many friends from Detroit who they just don't see a way out. You know, they're just stuck in like this repetitive cycle
Yeah.
of whatever this destructive thing in their life is, and they just cling on to it
Right.
because it's familiar
Yep.
to them.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the biggest issues, that people hold on to things that are familiar.
Yeah.
And sometimes the most damaging, destructive things. How is it now, you know, with your daughter? She was 6 during this time.
Yep. I mean, I'm all they know. They love being in the South. They feel like it's a whole new world. So they're loving it. They know, you know, I do the best that I can. For so long, I felt like I wasn't enough because we grew up in that, you know, family household. But they never make me feel like that. They never make me feel like I'm not enough, man. So, you know, we all we got right now, and that's how it's going to be.
That's amazing. But
Yeah.
you took the steps to change things for them.
I had to pick my poison. It's like, it's going to hurt if you stay. It's going to hurt if you leave. But this poison might not kill me. This one probably will kill me. So I took the one.
Absolutely.
And like I said, it gets greater later. So
Yeah. So how do you help women? And when you have these conversations, are you giving them like phone numbers to call? Are you?
So yeah, I'm definitely not any therapist. I'm not equipped to deal with that, but I kind of just tell them my story. It's often them asking like how I got out of it, and it's often them telling me like, you know, things that they're experiencing and things that they're seeing, and you know, me just letting them know you're not alone in that. I also experienced that as well. I don't like to give too much advice, but again, I just kind of let them know like I can relate, and this is what I did that helped me in my journey. Because you have to be careful with that. I don't want to give anybody advice that they take and it ends up bad, you know. So I just kind of let them know like, yo, you're not alone in this, and whenever, if ever, you decide to leave, I support you. You still there to stay, I still gonna support you. Just know that you got somebody that knows what you're going through.
I wasn't in the situation, but I was an observer of the situation. So it was a girl that one of my friends, or one of my older friends I used to have, he was putting his hands on her. And it was a situation where one time he choked her till she passed out.
Yeah.
And when that happened and she told me about it, you know, I don't stand for that kind of stuff.
Right.
So if it's happening around me, I stop it, but I try not to get too in between other people's business, because I know how people are mentally.
Yeah.
But in this situation, I'm like, I have to step in and do something.
Yeah.
And he was gone, so I had her pack all her things up.
Nice.
And I took her to her mother's house. But the weird issue about it,
They go back.
they go back.
Yeah.
And just during the conversation with me driving her to her mother's house, she was telling me how, you know, she hate this, she can't believe it's happening. But then it's this other side of her to switch on, and she's saying, I just like how he is when he upset, when he angry, he's so attractive, it's so sexy. And it's just like, you know, it's just like, it's a warped view.
It is.
It's a warped attraction, you know. It's these things that aren't normal kind of become normalized, like you said. Like, they want, you know, I'm not gonna assume what people want, but to see and to hear those things, it confused me mentally, but it let me know like I shouldn't get too deep into somebody else's situation, but to kind of give whatever I can give in a moment, or stop whatever I can stop in a moment. How do you tread that line of like knowing how far to get in, or how to even approach somebody?
It's a very thin line. It's a very, very thin line. It's almost like, you know, you on a balancing beam, because like I said, I don't like to give advice. I try to, you know, let people know that I'm there for them, but giving them resources. Hey, this is what I did. You know, when I said enough was enough, here's a number. You need therapy, that type of thing. And just, I'm more so of a listening ear. I'll give my feedback, and that be that. But it's a cycle. It's kind of like, if a hamster is running on a wheel and they're going and they're going and they keep going faster, 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 faster. And you tell that hamster to jump off, it's not going to be easy for them to just jump off.
Yeah.
They probably going to flip, they're going to tumble. And so it's kind of something that has to happen gradually. That's how it was for me anyway. And so, it's a very sensitive issue. So you just got to be careful with it. That's how I kind of try to keep the balance.
I heard a saying the other day that I never heard before, but it makes so much sense with even this type of situation. It was a guy, he said his grandma used to tell him that when you got your head in the lion's mouth, you need to ease your way out.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever see yourself incorporating the things that you've been through in your art?
Yeah.
Any of the writings?
Oh, yeah. So I have the first screenplay I wrote, kind of shows me in the future. And then I wrote another feature after that shows me in the past. And then there's another one that I'm writing that kind of shows the in-between of things. So it's going to be kind of something like a trilogy type of thing that shows like where I'm headed, how I got into that situation. Because I was young. I got kicked out of the house when I was about 16, 17. And I landed at a friend's house. And he also, was homeless. I'm going to call it for what it is. We was homeless. Ended up there and just kind of trauma bonded. It wasn't like the let's be friends and, oh, yeah, I like you too. No, we stuck together because we essentially felt like exactly. And so that's how that kind of built. So that story is going to shed light on that. And then the in-between of things. So it's going to shed light on, when's the first time this thing happened and what did you do? It's going to shed light on all of that. So, yeah, absolutely. I put it in my work. I talk about it. Like I said, I have a retreat that I'm planning in fall for women that just want a support group.
Oh, it's one that you're building yourself. Oh, yeah. Nice.
That just wants a support group.
What is it called?
It's called the Butterfly Room Retreat.
Oh, my mama would love that.
Yeah.
My mama, she loved butterflies. That's her thing. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like it's my calling, man. It's a calling for me. If I'm here, like I said, I had to go through things, and I'm just glad I'm here, alive, to help other people. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as we go through our life and we trying to figure out, what are we adding to the world?
Right.
The struggles that we've been through is the best thing, because everybody's on this. Everybody trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really knows what we're supposed to be doing here.
Right.
We all
It's
just
no
trying to
handbook.
figure it out.
It's no handbook for sure.
Yeah. And that's amazing that you taking the time to share your story and to reach out to women to help women out going through that.
Yep.
Okay, so going through everything you went through, I know that coming from a big city, that when you kind of trapped in certain situations, and of course now we know at different points of our life that maybe we weren't as trapped as we thought we were, but in those moments where we feel like there's nowhere to go, you do kind of get stuck with certain people.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of touch back on what you were talking about, trauma bonding. You trauma bonded with somebody. I think that's such a familiar thing for so many people.
Yeah.
For being at pivotal points in their life where they feel like they have no way out, and they find this person and they trauma bond.
Right.
And maybe this person is or has some habits that aren't good for, your development. Maybe you're learning something you shouldn't, or maybe just you two together just isn't a good thing.
Yeah.
I wanted you to maybe speak on that, dive into that a little bit. How was this trauma bond? How did it affect you?
So again, we definitely were both homeless at the time. We did a little sneaky linking, but I was seeing the red flags, but I was choosing to ignore them because he was feeding a side of me that I didn't know was so hungry. So I, had those abandonment issues from, growing up. I don't want to say just got out of a relationship, but like me and my high school sweetheart, we broke up and I didn't know how to navigate that alone. So he just kind of fit there perfectly. And, although I seen those red flags, it's like, well, you're feeding the side of me that's screaming for help right now. Instead of taking the time to just like, you know what, you need to heal from that last relationship. You need to find yourself, because now at this point I'm 18, didn't have a job or anything like that. You need to find yourself, get your footing, and like, understand really who you are and what it is that you want out of this world. But instead, I just went with what I thought that I needed and what was making me feel good in that moment.
Now, you probably didn't have many people around you asking you about all those things. What do you want to do? Where are you trying to go?
Right.
Are you setting yourself up for that?
Right.
You just kind of like fall into comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was comfortable
Yeah.
in that moment. I've just seen it so often. I even know people right now who I have to have conversations with just to kind of like shake them back into reality in a
Yeah.
sense, but it's just so common right now. We are looking for comfort.
Right.
I think the world itself is just in a situation where we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
So you kind of cling to comfort instead of doing what's best for you, what's best for somebody else's, and what's going to propel you forward.
Exactly. Exactly.
I was in I've dealt with situations where I was almost addicted to the cycle of disruption
Yeah.
or dysfunction, should I say, not disruption, dysfunction. And I had a therapist at the time that told me that she predicted that you will want to go back and forth. You will want to get back enthralled in that back and forth with this person who had an issue or had this mental thing going on, and they often go through cycles.
Yeah.
You will find yourself getting enthralled in that cycle, and you will want to get into it.
Yep.
And you will feel empty without it. And that's like a withdrawal kind of thing.
Yeah.
We kind of get addicted to
It
things
is.
as human beings, and we think that it's only substances or something we're putting in our body, but we're addicted to patterns in our life. We're addicted to winning and losing a certain way.
Yes.
And I think, definitely we need to put light on those kind of things.
Yeah. And psychologically speaking, like I also, had to go through therapy, but trying to unlearn the things that I knew, was so common or that felt comfortable to me. My therapist told me, she's like, your brain neurologically creates these pathways. When you're in it for so long, it creates these pathways. So at the time I was trying to date, it was so bad to the point where someone tried to grab my hand and I pulled back. I'm not used to anybody being gentle with me. So I had to unlearn like, hey, this person ain't trying to help you. But it's kind of like when you're walking through a path every single day, those footsteps are there. But you're trying to take another path. Like it's almost to the point where you could walk it, blindfolded or anything like that. But trying to take another path, it's like, you're not comfortable. You scared. Like, what if I trip type of thing. So yeah, it definitely affects us not only emotionally, but it becomes a pattern neurologically as well.
Yeah.
And that's why, like you said, it becomes an addiction. It's all we know. It's more than comfort.
Even guys, like you said earlier, guys get abused. They get abused definitely verbally.
Yeah.
Definitely like a mental struggle, a mental battle. I believe I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Even the young lady I talked about earlier that I helped out, she would provoke. She would do this provoking thing where she would just go off, cuss, scream, and it was like, he'd be like, you get me there, stop. And it's just like, I see it happen. It's like, all right, y'all gotta separate.
Yeah.
But it's like intentional, but it's like a pathway.
Right.
It's like a pathway, and like, okay, I think when you're about to step back into that pathway, like unconsciously or consciously, like, all right, let's get this back started up again,
Right.
And it's like, it's hard to kind of break those patterns.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so just to kind of jump back on a lighter note, your retreat that you're working on, I'm sure these will be some of the things that you'll probably touch on, is these patterns, these early signs.
Yes.
Yeah. So are there early signs that people should look out for? Or
Yeah.
that you, not to say you're an expert or anything, however, but maybe you might know some early signs that women would see or people would see.
I would just say, watch how they treat, for me, in my situation. He didn't deal with like other people's emotions, like my emotions. I don't want to say how he should, but he didn't do really well with that. It was, if I was frustrated or sad, upset, he would snap. Like things like that. So emotional immaturity. I don't like to confine it to yelling because we all yell when we're upset, but how far does he take it when he's yelling? Is it just like, yo, sit down somewhere? Or is he so mad that veins is popping out his neck? Like one of those things where he's trying to control it, but you can literally see the pot boiling over. So things like that, I would say is, things that I ignored. And then, like really with how they treat you, how they talk to you, like do they joke about little things like, oh, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you? Like that's not for play. Like, things like that. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a longer list and it looks different for everybody, but that's things that I know that I ignored and wouldn't recommend. Wouldn't recommend ignoring.
Well, it's a beautiful thing what you're doing.
Thank you.
How you stepping out here and on faith, moving to change your life and your children's life and doing it, but also giving back to women who might be in similar situations. That's a beautiful thing. I think that's big.
Yeah.
It's probably bigger than you know.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't know how much we affect the people we help or the people we talk to. It could be a message you send somebody.
Right.
And next time you're on the red carpet, they like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but you sent me that message. You know what I'm saying? I think that's so big. That's huge.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of beautiful things coming your way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything you want people to know about you or know that's coming up besides the retreat? Or you can even throw the retreat back out there,
So the retreat, that'll be the second to last week of October. So I won't be doing any film work because I just want to pour and just dive into that all October and prepare for that. Outside of that, I don't want to give too much away. Okay. I don't want to give too much away.
You said you guys got a film coming out soon, right?
Yes. Find and Love for Key. That'll be out this month, August. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks, but that'll be out. That's a romantic comedy. And even that has a message in it. It sheds light on cycles and, her trying to break the cycle of toxicity. And unfortunately, she ends up back in a cycle, but it's a hang cliff. It's a hang cliff film.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. There we go. Cliffhanger. I'm tired. But yeah, it's a cliffhanger. Yeah. And there's a part 2 to it. But
okay.
Yeah, outside of that, I don't think there's anything I want them to know about me. Hopefully I inspire and, you guys are getting the messages that I'm putting out there and that's it.
I would say they are. Can you drop your Instagram, your IG, your YouTube?
So my Instagram, IG, YouTube, and TikTok is Key the Don. So KETHEDONNNN. And you can find The Inheritance and other upcoming projects on Dust House Network.
That's some East Coast stuff. The Don right
there.
The Don. Yeah, Key the Don.
Yeah.
Hey man, we appreciate everybody for chiming in, checking in, commenting, liking. We really want you to continue to go on this ride, go on this trip, this journey with us as we explore more creative, some more impactful people in the community. So please like, share, and subscribe. This is Walking Atlanta. I'm your host, November. This is Key, the Don. Key Banks, but this is Key. All right, peace out. Y'all have a great day.
See ya.